In the name of America First, Donald Trump is once again waging an economic war, not just against China or the European Union, but against a very fabric of global economic cooperation. With sweeping tariffs, weaponized trade policies, and economic threats aimed even at historical allies, the U.S. under Trump is isolating itself and pushing the world dangerously close to a recession. But let's not mistake these moves as economic strategy. This is economic coercion, and its victims? Not just governments, but working-class families across Europe, Asia, Latin America, and even in the heart of America. Trump's new blanket tariffs, up to 30% on European steel, autos, wine, and even electronics, are justified by so-called reciprocity. But in reality, they're retaliatory tools punishing countries that refuse to bend to Washington's will. Germany, France, Italy, economic powerhouses, now face multi-billion-dollar cost burdens. Supply chains are breaking, prices are rising, and unemployment is quietly ticking upward. What's worse is that the consequences of this economic aggression don't stop at European borders. African exporters who relied on EU intermediary access to U.S. markets are now cut off. Latin American agriculture that flowed through NAFTA-era corridors is now stuck behind tariff walls. In Southeast Asia, textile orders have collapsed. American tariffs are not just hitting rival nations, they're starving global workers, families, and entire industries. Let's be clear, this is not diplomacy, it's economic bullying. And it's being done under the pretext of protecting American workers, even though those very tariffs are killing jobs at home. U.S. farmers are losing foreign buyers. American automakers are laying off staff due to rising parts costs. And consumers? They're paying more for everyday goods, clothes, groceries, electronics, medicine. This is how empires crumble, not with war, but with arrogance. And it gets worse. The international community is responding, not with submission, but with systemic decoupling. European central bank leaders are now openly discussing trade diversification away from the dollar. The BRICS coalition is accelerating its de-dollarization agenda. Global oil deals are being signed in yuan and rupees. Even traditional allies like France and Germany are now exploring alternative financial systems to avoid American control. If Trump continues this path, the United States may lose its final and greatest advantage, the dominance of the US dollar. Because once the world stops settling in dollars, once countries begin trading through bilateral currency agreements, America's ability to print and spend without consequence vanishes. And with $34 trillion in federal debt and another recession looming, the stakes couldn't be higher. Donald Trump's tariffs are not just short-sighted, they are historically reckless. They may buy a few headlines or rallies, but the long-term damage will be catastrophic. This isn't just about economics. It's about power. It's about trust. It's about whether the United States can still lead, or whether it's willingly giving up that role through intimidation and isolation. This is the rise of a new economic order, one where the U.S. may no longer be the unquestioned superpower, and one where the rest of the world, finally, is refusing to be bullied. This isn't a trade war, it's an economic purge. And if left unchecked, it won't just destroy livelihoods, it might destroy the global economy. Subscribe to Truth Decoded for more stories they don't want you to hear.